Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a video that's a little bit different for me. I wanted to talk to you guys about my kind of newly started diet and exercise regime. I've been working really hard the last few months to kind of clean up my diet, exercise more, change how I've been exercising, and I've gotten some good effects from it. So I thought I would share that with you guys. I do want to do a little disclaimer right from the start that I am not a trained dietitian or personal trainer or anything like that, so everything that I say here is kind of just what I've kind of picked up from the internet and all that kind of stuff. So what works for me might not necessarily work for you or be right or wrong, but I just thought I would share it because it has worked great for me so far. So let's get right into it. So I wanted to first kind of tell you what my old diet was kind of looking like. Generally, when I look back, I was super carb and sugar heavy. Like, I loved cereals and bagels and bread and pasta and pizza and crackers and chips, and then sugar-wise, I was so into candy, and every once in a while I'd get like one of those really calorie and sugar heavy drinks from Starbucks and all kinds of bad stuff. So the last few months I've really wanted to make a change. I also have a 3-year-old daughter, so back when she was eating baby food, it really didn't matter a whole lot what I was eating. But now that everything that I eat, she eats, basically. So I really want to make sure that I set a really good example for her and kind of give her a good path right from the start when it comes to healthy eating and being healthy and happy and all that kind of stuff. So back in February, I decided to kind of change up my diet and exercise. So I've been doing it basically since the end of February with a couple breaks in between. I was on vacation a couple times, and obviously when I was down south in Cuba, I wasn't sticking to this like strict diet or anything like that. So, which I think is important. There are times definitely where you need to just let loose and enjoy, because food is such a great part of life. And if you constantly deprive yourself, there's no way that you're going to be able to stick with this kind of healthy lifestyle. It's going to basically end up being a diet that you are going to burn out on eventually and go back to your old ways. So the first thing I'll say is probably what made me the most successful on this lifestyle change is having somebody to do it with. My boyfriend Devin decided to start doing this with me, which is just so incredibly helpful because I've tried to do this before and it's just so difficult when you're doing it alone. So if you can, try to get a family member or a friend or a partner or anybody that you can do this with, and it will really increase your chances of being successful. There are days where I thought I was going to crack, where Devin has kept me on track, and vice versa. For me, the exercising part has always been really easy, and it's the diet part that I struggle with, whereas Devin is the opposite. So sometimes when I am struggling to eat healthy, he will help me to keep on track, and I will do the same with helping him to motivate him to exercise a little bit more and just get out and do simple things like walking and all that kind of stuff, that just every little bit helps. So that is my biggest piece of advice, is try to find somebody to do this with. The second thing that I'll recommend is getting one of those free little apps that you can get on your phone. I use MyFitnessPal. Now, I don't write down everything I eat or anything like that. I don't calorie count. I don't do macros really per se or anything like that. I try to do it a little bit intuitively, but when you're first starting, it can really be helpful because specifically with that app, you can take a picture of the barcode of the food, and then it'll tell you the breakdown of everything that's in it. Is it really carb heavy? Is it really protein heavy? How much sugar is in it? Like, what are the saturated fats? And it's really helpful in showing you, like, yeah, this is a food you should be eating, or no, maybe not so much. Maybe, and I could total up my days, kind of what I've eaten, and see where I am in terms of carbs, fats, and protein. So get something like that. Or I know people who have Fitbits. I don't have one per se, but if someone gave it to me, I would totally use it. But they are a little bit pricey, but Fitbits seem really great for helping people to really acknowledge even things as little as like, how many steps am I taking a day? I think the goal is everybody should be getting at least 10,000 steps a day or somewhere around that. And you'll be really surprised sometimes when you track that. Like MyFitnessPal does that for me, it tracks my steps. And you can be like, man, like I hardly was on my feet today. So it can really help make you more aware of how active you are throughout the day. So those are two things that I really recommend doing when you're going to start something like this. And the third thing is that make your ultimate goal to be healthy. I mean, it's fine to try to change your lifestyle because you want to like lose weight or you want to be thinner or you want to fit into this or that. But the ultimate goal should be to be healthy. That way you don't get too wrapped up in the scale or progress, lack of progress, stuff like that. So for me, I really do want to be healthy for myself and my daughter and my family. But it also is great to kind of lose some weight in the process. So anyways, now let's kind of get into what I actually did. So end of February, I started doing a no dairy, no grain, no added sugar diet. So I knew that was going to be hard because I love carbs and I love sugars. So it really opens your eyes into how much added sugar is added into everything. You don't even realize it until you start looking on the back of packages of things. And it's just basically all these processed foods are just like full of added sugar. It's just crazy. So the first 3 or 4 days were really difficult. I struggled and I knew I was going to, but I kept with it and I almost kind of detoxed and had to come off of sugars and carbs and stuff like that. But once you do it, you will feel better. Devin in particular, he's lactose intolerant, but he would still eat dairy all the time and it would just kill his stomach. He was bloated. He feels a million times better without the dairy in his diet. For me, I feel a little bit better in that sense, but it's really I think the no dairy and the no grains that have really helped me reduce like bloating and upset stomach and stuff like that. So anyways, I'll kind of tell you what we eat in the run of the day and some good meals that you can add in that don't make you feel so deprived. So before, for breakfast, I would always have like cereal or toast or a bagel or something like that was really carb heavy. Those are awful because they do not keep you full very long. They don't have a lot of nutritional value to them. They're just not great options. So on this diet, or I'll refer to it as a diet as I go through it, just so I don't have to say like a lifestyle or a diet change. But basically on this diet, what we started doing was having a lot of eggs and fruit and stuff in the morning. So we would do scrambled eggs one day, maybe an omelet the next day. So, you know, when we'd have scrambled eggs, we would just have scrambled eggs. But when we did like an omelet, we would add in onions and green peppers and jalapeno peppers. And it really helped to kind of give you the illusion that it's a totally different meal when really, I mean, it's just eggs. And then having fruit is just really helps to fill you up, even though it's really healthy. Like if you've ever tried to eat like 2 or 3 apples at a time, you'll realize really quickly it's really hard because fruits and vegetables can be way more filling than you think. So basically that's what we do every morning. I have changed that in the last month or so. I have added plain oatmeal in the last month because it was really getting difficult to make eggs every morning. So now, and it's just me that does this, Devin doesn't do this, I have a little bit of oatmeal every morning with unsweetened almond milk, and I will say that like that keeps me full for 3-4 hours afterwards because it's so dense, but there's just rolled oats in it. That's all that's in it. So that's what we basically do for mornings. On the weekends, you can have bacon on this diet. So it's kind of like a keto diet, but not as strict with the carbs. So on the weekends, we'll have bacon and eggs, and that really feels like a cheat meal, even though it technically isn't. Now at the same time, when you're having bacon and stuff on the weekends, like you can't go overboard and eat an entire package of bacon to yourself. Like, you know, you have to kind of keep it to, I would usually have 3 or 4 pieces, and I think that's fine. And it really feels like a great cheat meal. So for lunches, what we're usually doing is a salad at the beginning just to keep it really simple. So we would do lettuce, spinach, and then throw a bunch of veggies in, tomatoes, cucumbers, carrots, celery. Devin loves putting jalapeno peppers in his salads for some weird reason. Pepper, and then Italian dressing or sun-dried tomato and oregano. I do love salads, but I love Caesar salads. Like Caesar salads I could eat every day of my life and be happy. But of course, they're just not good for you. There's croutons, there's cheese, there's heavy white dressings that have a lot of fat and a lot of just garbage in them. So I had to basically get rid of those and use more oil-based salad dressings. So those are great options. Now I will say a lot of times if I'm just eating a salad on its own, I'll still be hungry like a couple hours later. So what I'll do a lot of the time is grab one of those pre-cooked rotisserie chickens from the grocery store and add some chicken into it, and it really helps make a salad filling and delicious. I will say if you want to eat out, let's say you forgot your lunch at home or something while you're at work, our only real option is to go to Subway and get one of the chopped chickens. We get one of the rotisserie chicken chopped salads. Just add a bunch of veggies in there and then use their house dressing, which is it's almost exactly like Italian dressing, and that can be really filling and really tasty actually. The only thing I don't love about those is they're kind of expensive, honestly. They're like $9 for this like one size salad. So they are a bit pricey, so I try not to do that a lot, but I usually will do that probably once a week or so, is grab one of those Subway salads. Or for lunch, we'll just have leftovers of the supper that we had the night before. Supper-wise is probably the easiest meal. A lot of meals I forget that we've even done this diet because we're doing a meat and a vegetable. So a lot of times we'll do steak or chicken or turkey or pork. Every once in a while we'll do sausages. We do try to get sausages that don't have breadcrumbs in them. That's an ingredient a lot of people don't know that are in sausages, but it very often is. And then you just do some kind of a vegetable, like we do a lot of corn on the cob or asparagus or green beans, or sometimes I'll cook up a bunch of veggies together with a little bit of salad dressing on them, and they're filling, it's delicious, and it's healthy. So you're probably thinking like, that sounds all good and great, but you know, like how do I keep that up every day? Like, I will say that it is difficult, but there are definitely some meals that we've found on the internet that we've incorporated in, and they feel like cheat meals even though they aren't. So the first one that we love doing is lettuce tacos. We used to eat a lot of tacos before. Like, I freaking love tacos. But what we do is we get rid of the cheese off of them, and we basically just buy heads of lettuce, take a lettuce leaf off, put our hamburger in, we do tomatoes, a little bit of salsa that has no added sugar, and banana peppers, and you've got an amazing taco. They're almost as good as usual, like the normal tacos with taco shells. I don't miss the old ones at all, and they're just better without the cheese and the taco shell. So we do that. We also used to eat a lot of stir fry with white rice, which white rice is just not good for you at all. It's just empty garbage calories. So what you can do is grate cauliflower, and it makes a very similar kind of rice substitute. So we'll put all the stuff we used to put into stir fries, but instead of having rice, we have grated cauliflower. So it's not white rice in the sense that it like tastes the exact same, but it's definitely a healthier alternative. And it's just, you know, I don't know who thought of grating cauliflower and using it as rice, but I mean, kudos, because it's an awesome idea. And the last thing we'll do if we really are like wanting something decent is we'll make hamburgers without the buns. We've made hamburger patties, we put mustard, ketchup has added sugar in it, so we don't use ketchup, pickles and lettuce and tomatoes and onions, and then you just kind of eat it without the bun, and it's very filling. It's a little bit messier, of course, but it's really not too bad, and it really feels like a good cheat meal without being an actual cheat meal. So speaking of cheat meals, we do a cheat meal once a week, usually every Saturday, because it's really unrealistic to expect yourself to stay 100% to this kind of a diet without ever indulging. So I wouldn't be able to keep going if I didn't have a cheat meal once a week, and it really keeps me motivated to get through the week and do well, knowing that Saturday I get to have a cheat meal. For the first 2 or 3 weeks we didn't have a cheat meal though, because we really wanted to detox and get the sugar and the dairy and the grains out of our system. And I think that if I had done it too early, it would have just kind of threw me off course, and I would have just, I don't know, went off of the diet. So, but after 2 or 3 weeks, I was like, I can do this. I've seen that I can do this. I feel better. I'm getting good results. Let's add in a cheat meal. So usually I'll get a little pizza or some candy or something like that. Devin loves donair, so he'll usually get a donair. And it's just so good. It makes you appreciate a cheat meal so much more than you do when you just eat it like day to day regularly. It's crazy. So that's basically what I do for the diet component. I don't count calories or anything like that. I just kind of eat intuitively. If it's healthy, I can eat it. I try not to eat anything in large portions or anything like that. Snacks in between, I will usually do peanuts are a really good one, but the important thing with peanuts or almonds or any kind of a nut is to make sure that your portion is really small, because they are really high in calories and fat. So I actually have a little container that I have, and that's what I'll pour my peanuts into. I don't really like almonds. I tried almonds a couple times. They don't really do it for me, but peanuts I love. And that's my little portion of peanuts, and I can't eat any more than that. And luckily, peanuts are really filling, so you don't have to eat many to kind of get full from them. So that's what I'll do when I'm kind of in between lunch and supper, because sometimes I don't have supper till pretty late because I don't get off work till 7, and that'll really keep me going. And if you're really feeling weak, another good snack that you can have at night is natural popcorn, which means it doesn't have any butter or salt or anything like that on it. It's just popcorn. And we have found a few seasonings that don't have any added sugar in them that really just make you feel like you're eating a treat. And the bags of popcorn are 300 calories per bag, so split between me and Devin, that's 150 calorie snack each, which really isn't too bad. And the final snack that I'll really suggest is sunflower seeds. I don't know what I was doing before I was eating sunflower seeds, because they're so good. They're just the best snack because they give you that habit where you're like, picking something out of a bag, putting it in your mouth is chewing it, and you can do that for a long time and feel satisfied without really eating that much calories, because when you think about how much you're actually eating from each seed, it's tiny. And it also kind of tricks your body into thinking that you're, like, I will feel full after eating sunflower seeds because my body thinks that it's eating a lot even though it's not, and it's just from the repetitive motion that it's used to with my hands and my mouth and all that kind of stuff. So those are some great snacks that I will do, of course, besides fruits and vegetables, but there are times when you want something a little more solid than a fruit or vegetable. So those are 3 that I recommend for sure. So now I'll move on to the exercise component of it. I've always been somebody who's gone to the gym and been very active and stuff like that, so the gym is not a new experience for me, but I've been trying to alter how I work out at the gym. So up until about a year or 2 ago, like, women at the gym, it was all about cardio, 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 run, jog, elliptical, Stairmaster. It was basically all cardio, and that's basically what I used to do, was just cardio till I dropped. So I've really changed that now into starting to incorporate a lot more weights into my workout. I'm doing definitely less cardio, more weights, and I'm seeing better results from that. Now, it's important to still do both. Like, you don't want to necessarily cut cardio out of your workout entirely, but lifting weights really is so important. It helps you to burn more calories longer after you've worked out than cardio. You gain muscle, and the more muscle that you have, the more fat that you burn, and you're not going to bulk up like a lot of people used to be really afraid of. You're just going to get a nice, lean, defined tone to your body, and it really can transform your body. So what I'll do when I go to the gym is usually do 20-25 minutes of cardio, whether it's jogging or the elliptical or the Stairmaster, or sometimes I'll just do a high incline walk on the treadmill, and then I'll go over and do some weights. I'll do the machines. I love doing weighted barbell exercises. and a lot of just kind of light weights too that I'll do arm wise. And it has transformed my body. I think I see it in my legs, I see it in my arms, I see it in my back. I'm just starting to look more toned and defined. Now, naturally, I am pretty muscular to begin with, so I build muscle very easily, but it's just helped me to kind of lean out without bulking up necessarily. And if you can't afford to get a gym membership or anything like that, there are so many great people you can follow on, like, you know, social media such as Instagram, that do really great at-home only workouts. I follow, what's her name, Diary of a Fit Mommy, and a couple other people. I can't think of them at the top of my head now, but I love watching. She does little mini videos where she shows you just at-home workouts using your own body weight, a little bit of plyo stuff that really can help. So every day I try to do squats and lunges and push-ups and some ab work, and just doing that at home once a day, try to do it every day, can make a big difference. And then on top of it, it's a little bit harder here in Canada, where sometimes the winters are harsh and I can't even imagine going outside for a walk. But now that it's spring and we're coming into summer soon, I try to stay as active as I can, whether it's going outside and going for a long walk or a jog, or just pulling my daughter around in her wagon, running outside with her, playing soccer. Just try to do every little bit that you can, because it all adds up. It's all about being active, but you don't necessarily have to go to a gym and run for an hour on the treadmill to get there. So ultimately, what is the progress that I've seen? Because I've talked a lot about my changes, but I haven't really talked about how I've actually done numerically wise. So I have lost 13 pounds since I've started this at the end of February. I did go off of the diet for a couple weeks when I was on vacation, because obviously when you're in Cuba, you're not going to stick on a no added sugar, no grain, no dairy diet. Like, you're going to, you know, I don't know, I drink from like sun up to sunset and eat everything in sight. So I have gone off of it for a couple weeks, so I'm sure my progress would be a little bit better if I hadn't done that, but there's no way I'd be able to stick to that on vacation, and I do think it's a great time to indulge. So I have lost 13 pounds, and for me, I'm really happy with that, because A, I'm 5'3", so 13 pounds on my frame is pretty decent. B, I didn't have a ton of weight to lose in the first place. And C, I can definitely tell that I've gained some more muscle mass. So I probably lost more body fat but gained some muscle mass. So that's why I may not necessarily see the scale dropping in numbers, because obviously muscle weighs more than fat. So that's a great example to remember when you're doing this kind of lifestyle change. And even though you're not necessarily seeing the scale dropping, take a look at your body, do measurements. I wish I had done measurements before I started this actually, but I didn't. And you'll see changes like that, because gaining muscle is a good thing. Like, look at what your body looks like, not necessarily what the scale shows. So I think that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will keep you updated on my progress in the future, and you know what's going on with the lifestyle change and all that kind of stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!